Coalition politics in South Africa has been rocky. In the latest twist, the ANC says it's considering terminating the coalition pact or agreement it has with the EFF. And of course, after the 2021 local government elections, we saw that the ANC effectively lost its majority in various municipalities. DA-led coalitions rose to the fore. Then the ANC and EFF working together, voting out those DA-led coalitions, especially in Gauteng. Now, Gauteng is going to be the battleground by most takes of the election next year. And let's get an EFF response. We're joined by spokesperson Sinawo Tambo. Thank you for being with us in studio, Sinawo. Any love lost? Are you concerned about these reports that the ANC wants to walk away?
No, we're not concerned at all. And I think particularly because of the reasoning of the ANC for the purposes of cutting the coalitions, or the working agreements rather, with the economic freedom fighters. So if you read the reports that are apparently coming out from a presentation made by David Makura, who's supposedly the head of political education in the ANC, one of the reasons, or some of the reasons they outline, is that the EFF is eating into its voter base because we're delivering services where we have been allowed to co-govern and have MMCs.
Yes.
That we're taking away from their voter base. In particular, we're using the positions that we have acquired to deliver services to our people. And that's nothing to be ashamed about. So if the African National Congress's National Executive Committee is going to remove the EFF or try and negotiate a means to get us out of positions of responsibility in metropolitans and municipalities because we're delivering services to our people, then that's something we must be proud about. It proves to us that the ANC doesn't exist to service the people.
Well, the claim is, I mean, remember, it's been a critique of the EFF that it doesn't have the track record in delivering services, in governance. So the claim, I think, by some concerned members of the ANC is that you're now using these partnerships in municipalities to show that you can govern. So then suddenly you have the kudos, you can go forward and you can govern in future without the ANC saying, look, we have a track record. Are you using the ANC?
There's no need to use the ANC to do anything. We're using the positions of responsibility we have been given to service our people. Remember also, in the city of Johannesburg, in the city of Ekurhuleni, the members of the mayoral committees are not appointed by the ANC. They're appointed by the mayors of those cities, Al Jama, in the city of Johannesburg, for example. So the logic of the ANC to want to remove the EFF is actually anti-service delivery. It's anti-people, because you can't want to sort of predict or maneuver, political maneuvering ahead of 2024 at the expense of services to our people. Is the EFF failing in service delivery initiatives? No, it's not. They're saying they're removing us because we're gaining popularity, because we're servicing the people. Here in Ekurhuleni, we have stabilized the finances to our MMC. We've been able to clean out the city in itself in terms of waste management. In the city of Johannesburg, safety has improved in terms of response by our MMC there. In Mohale City, we're tarring the roads that are full of potholes. In Nelson Mandela Bay, we've removed a seriously corrupt city manager by the name of Noxolo Ngwazi, who had captured that council. And now we're also zooming into the COO that has been appointed as an acting city manager, who's got accusations of being a proxy of her and having been appointed irregularly as well. So we're providing service delivery, we're uprooting corruption, and that is what is unsettling the African National Congress. And if they want to remove us because we're doing that, then so be it. We've done what we could, and our people will remember that.
Let's just look at the history. So I think it was last year you decided to dislodge the DA. Then we saw this pattern, which you've referred to now, where the ANC and the EFF would share the seats on the mayoral committee, but neither one would take the top post, the mayoral post. I think that's because the EFF said under no circumstances would it accept the ANC taking the mayoral positions. So effectively, do you take responsibility for allowing those small parties to rise up in those posts? Do you think it's been good for democracy? Some would argue not, that we have these very small parties like Al Jama holding those top posts.
Look, in a coalition where there's no outright winner or majority, democracy practices itself in how it has to. It doesn't matter how many seats you have. You can have one seat and end up being a mayor, because no one has the right to claim that they should be in control of that space in itself. So it's actually the maturation of democracy.
Should you control the top post as a tiny party?
Look, the mayor is appointed or elected based on the majority of the people in the council itself. So the representatives of the people who are elected into the councils are the ones who elect the mayor, and the mayor is the ones who elects the MMCs. So this is it's representative democracy. That's how it works.
Yeah,
so we
but
can't
you tell your
now.
party how to vote, the ANC tells their party how to vote. So essentially
Absolutely.
the ANC and EFF, the agreement is playing out, right?
Look, it's a give and take. That's how politics works. We're not going to say that we haven't had discussions with the ANC in terms of how mayoral committees or cities are constituted. But we're in a constant conversation with everyone, even with the Democratic Alliance that insults us every day outside in the streets. We have still left our door open to conversation because we're mature enough to understand that democracy is about constant engagement. And that constant engagement is going to happen. The ANC hasn't reached out to us to tell us that they are considering cutting ties with us in any of these cities. It's something that the Secretary General of the ANC has been canvassing and campaigning about because he's got an extremely small ego and he can't take the fact that the EFF has got a potential to grow and outgrow
So he has
the
never
ANC
spoken
itself.
to you? Or any other top leaders have not had discussions with your top leaders?
There's no interaction between the EFF and the ANC with regards to cutting ties with us. It's
Wow.
something that is being mobilized internally in the ANC, particularly by Fikile Mbalula. That is what we know. And then they get a proxy who calls himself a head of political education in David Makura to present something that is so self-defeating, something that shows that the ANC would rather our people not get services if those services are coming from the EFF. That is the agenda.
Is there anybody pro an ANC-EFF coalition reaching out, like Panyaza Lesufi? He was suggesting that this could become something national. Are your friends in the ANC reaching out and saying, don't worry, we will fight for this?
We don't have friends in the ANC politically, so we are going to operate
Wouldn't
on the
you call
basis
Panyaza
of
Lesufi
professional.
a political friend?
No, not at all. We're having engagements on the basis of representing political parties at various stages, as our democracy should be. There should be no one that you don't talk to.
Just quickly, so you say you're delivering services. Let's look at the concern of the ANC's Jongizizwe Dlabati, regional chair, acting regional chair, and he went to the Secretary General of the ANC and said the EFF is being given disproportionate power. So as far as I understand, the ANC has 5 positions, the EFF has 5 positions. And then you have a small party holding the mayoral position. Is that not disproportionate to your voter base in that municipality?
I think to characterize...
So it is giving you a rise in terms of positions, showing what you can do?
To characterize his concern as one of disproportionality is actually not legitimate. His main concern is the fact that the EFF is cutting them out. They're unable to eat, they're unable to practice patronage, and we're delivering services. So that is the core of his concern. The disproportionality is just a facade.
Final question. Will you fight for this then? Will you reach out to the ANC? And what does it mean for the predictions that maybe the ANC and EFF would work together at a national level next year?
Look,
is that a pipe dream now?
We're looking for outright victory, so we don't organize ourselves with an intention to be in a coalition. That is not part and parcel of the road to victory plan of the EFF. We're looking to win. And any conversation will happen after the elections if it's necessary to do so.
And will you fight for the coalitions to stay in place for now?
We're not going to fight for anything. If they want to remove us because we're servicing our people, then so be it.